This is a scene from an incredible TV show called My Mad Fat Diary. It's a conversation that the main character has with her younger self.
There was a time when I refused to wear anything other than a swimsuit.
Will you help me get a pasty, please?
You shouldn't eat too many of these. You get fat.
Don't care if I get fat. They taste nice.
But if you get fat, you won't be able to wear a swimsuit and boys won't like you.
Don't like boys. And even if I did like boys, and I was fat, and I wore a swimsuit, they'd like me anyway.
How would they like you?
Because I'm brilliant.
Right!
A for authenticity. The other night I found myself crying over my computer. I was just watching some videos that I had made when I was about 15 years old, and I realised that I had peaked 3 or 4 years ago. Not in all ways, but in a lot of ways that matter. 3 years ago, in a lot of ways, I was more authentic, more creative, more fearless than I had ever been and than I ever have been. I really found something and found a natural and true way to express myself creatively, and then I lost it. And that's when I stopped making videos. That's when being creative and expressing myself and being artistic became hard and something unnatural. It was difficult for me. This was also around the time that my mental health started to decline. I became sadder, less full of hope, less fearless, more insecure, less sure in my abilities. I fell in love and I became obsessed with the love that other people could give to me. Over 2 or 3 years, I became someone who depended completely on what other people thought of me. I needed other people to validate and appreciate and like what I did. And I wanted to please people. I wanted to make people happy. I changed myself. I cut bits of myself off. I stopped doing certain things, stopped being certain things, and started trying to mold myself into this weird, twisted image of the version of myself that I thought would be most attractive to the people that I wanted to please. And the result was malformed, unhappy, depressed, unable to express myself or channel any creativity. It's such a shame. I feel like so much of the time we separate ourselves from our child and teenage selves. We feel embarrassed by who we were when we were growing up, and I'm trying to find what I lost over the last 2 years that I spent trying to earn people's love. Growing up and age and time doesn't always make you wiser, and what I had when I was younger was very, very valuable. I'm learning now that sometimes you have to take a few steps back before you can take steps forward. You have to learn from your past self. And I keep watching the videos and things that I made when I was younger, and they're inspiring me to do better, because in a lot of ways the version of me from 3 years ago was more complete than the version of me today. She made some incredible things and she was really onto something, even though she was a fucking weirdo. And I admire her fearlessness and her creativity and her just ability to make something out of nothing. I ended up being someone who thought I needed a purpose or an excuse to make or be creative, when you don't. You can just fucking create and make and do shit and be whatever you want. You don't need an excuse. I'm trying to go back in time a little bit at the moment and work out what I had then and what I lost. Weird, because it's like my teenage self is now kind of my inspiration at the moment, and I'm so glad I made the things that I did when I was 14 and 15, because it's giving me something to be inspired by now. And I don't think that I ever thought that I would become my own icon, but I guess that's how life works sometimes. So yeah, here's to learning from your past self, and here's to appreciating how hard it can be to be authentically yourself in this strange world. Lots of love.